Previously on Dandies in Danger.
Adrian, Molly is sitting and staring at you expectantly.
How many other staff work here with you?
There are 5 of us.
For this entire household?
She says, "Thank you, Doctor. I simply belong here." Zach and Daniel and Liam were standing here in front of these green stains. Zach, you can tell that this is ghostly in nature. You can tell that it has anger and a little bit of sadness. Nathaniel is looking at the 3 of us, and he sees the 4 stains on the wall, and he's actually going to touch it, and you can see that it is green paint. You, Daniel, you notice a little hint of red.
And without saying anything, grabs the peeled up bit of paint and starts peeling it even more.
You see the letter P, creating P-E, and then R. So now it's P-E-R.
The goal here is to not wake up anything further to us, but we need information.
Perhaps one group goes to ask questions and someone else goes to peel the wallpaper.
That sounds like a plan.
Hi, my name is Elijah, my pronouns are he, him, and I play the voice of Zachary Wilkos.
Hello, I'm Cass. My pronouns are she, her, and I voice Liam Bardsley.
Hi, I'm Chess, he, she, they, and I voice Daniel Pritchard.
Hi, I'm Toast, pronouns she, they, and I play Adrian Edwards.
Welcome back to the game.
Thank you.
We left our lads in the Amethyst room devising a plan of action. Zach and Daniel were going to search the house for more green stains and keep an ear out for the mysterious knocking. Liam and Adrian planned to speak with the remaining Holloway Manor staff to find out if their stories were similar to Molly Campbell. It is currently about 9:15, so we have 45 minutes to investigate before the gentleman's hour in the bath.
Okay. Alright, Daniel, let's go.
It's Giuseppe.
Right, Giuseppe. We're friends, though. Can't I just call you Verdi?
That's my last name.
Is it?
You got it backwards, you've mixed it up.
You can call me Verdi if you wish.
Come on, Giuseppe.
Make up your mind.
And so I assume they leave Zachary's room, and I was hoping to roll perception to see if Zachary can pick up on any, magical inclinations.
Okay. I will say you've entered out into the hall. You can roll, add your arcane. Daniel, I also want you to roll, and you can just add your wisdom, because this is actually the first time you've really properly been in this hallway, the 2nd floor hallway.
Without rushing through.
Without rushing through, exactly. So previously you had been in the stairwell, and then you exited through the east doorway out of the stairwell, so you haven't actually been in this central area.
You said I'm allowed to add my arcane?
Add arcane, yeah.
Perfect. 23.
23. That's incredible. So with a 23, you can feel the energy coming. It's quite faint and very far away from you at this point. You can tell that it is coming from the south and the east. It feels so faint that you could start heading in that direction, and I will give you updates as you go riding on that 23.
Okay.
So I will continue to give you successful updates on which direction you want to go in, but for now, what you can sense is it's just generally in the southeast direction.
Cool.
I got an 8, so I'll just be following Zachary.
Okay. For you, Daniel, I'll give you just sort of a general description of the space that you're in right now. In the central part of this hallway, there is a massive 10-foot by 10-foot mirror in the south central leg of this landing. Also in this central area, there are now 2 doors across from each other. One of them leads in towards the staircase where we had been standing, and the other one is directly across from this. So if the central area of this hallway is sort of like a W, you're standing in the center of the W, and the legs on either side of the W lead up through the rooms. You will find that there is, very close to you, a glass-fronted case, and it's on your left as you're walking forward. So this glass-fronted case is facing the window at the front of the house, and it has several impressive medals and accolades within it, but you can't get any more detail than that with an 8 unless you were going to investigate it more specifically. I'll also say that there is a long white rug running north-south in the middle portion. Otherwise, the floors are dark wood. There's a small chandelier in the central area, tied up with a rope to raise it and lower it, as it was with the grand ballroom.
How clean is this white rug?
Quite clean.
Ooh, as if it is newly installed to cover up something.
You might assume that.
Zachary is going to turn to Daniel and say, I believe I feel something coming in from this direction. He's pointing towards the south hall. I think that's directly to his left, if he's coming out of the amethyst room.
Correct.
Well, let's chase it then.
So they begin.
Liam and Adrian are actually close behind you. Well, Adrian, I suppose our best bet for finding the staff would probably be back downstairs.
Where do you suppose they would be after dinner?
Well, I suppose it follows they'd be in the kitchen cleaning everything up.
Okay.
I love thinking of Adrian sometimes with his little notes where he'll just go, okay. He's in his dapper little suit. Oh, God.
Liam actually grabs Adrian's arm and says,
Oh, goodness.
There's...
Sorry?
I think we're forgetting a very important detail. Unless you know of another way to go back down the stairs.
Oh, right.
The mirror? Are we talking about a mirror?
Mr. King. He's in the landing in the stairs, painting over.
He's painting over? Did he have a bucket and paintbrush with him?
That is what he left, and he said that he would come back to paint it over, and then we heard him approaching.
That poor man. Oh, no.
We could just walk past him?
Scale the windows.
Yeah, just go out on the outside of the building in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Well, Liam's a beefy
down.
boy, and
Okay,
Adrian is a skinny little thing. Just put him on his back.
Swings him on it.
Hold on tight, Spider Monkey. Come on, let's go.
Yes.
Well, I would just walk past him. I usually just walk past and ignore people I don't want to notice me, so...
You know what, I like your plan, Adrian. Let's just walk very confidently and carefully past Nathaniel.
He's gonna know it was us peeling it off, though. He's gonna be like, hang on, as you're passing.
Knows.
Let's go through the other door on the other side.
There's another
opposite to the one that we went through of the stairwell.
You're gonna get to the same landing.
I know, but then we fled through the one on the east side.
Oh yeah, that'll really trick him. You ran out one door and came in another.
What is this Scooby-Doo shit?
Is this Chess Albanese entering the narrative to argue with Liam?
Yeah, apparently.
Quiet down from the peanut gallery.
I assumed Daniel and Zachary already started heading off south.
Yes, let's just go. What else can we do? Let's just go.
All right. I'm going to ping over to Zach and Daniel temporarily. You continue to walk towards the south end of the house down this long hallway. I think we established last time it is around 100 feet long, this hallway. It is an enormous house. There are candelabra mounted on the wall at regular intervals as you go down. But you imagine once night falls, it is going to be incredibly dark here because there is no access to windows aside from the ones that are on the north end of the house.
Is it not night already?
Once the lights are dimmed and the guests go to sleep.
Apologies.
Good question. It is night. That's why it's a little bit dim and flickering, but...
How wide is this hallway? Because it looks very skinny on the map.
It is about 5 feet wide. Very narrow. It gives you a little bit of vertigo. I described it in some of the previous episodes whenever you went after Nathaniel, that it gives you almost a sense of vertigo as you are walking down this hallway.
That's right. Yeah, you did.
And so you are getting closer to the south end. I'm going to say that Liam and Adrian disappear out of view as you continue to walk down this hallway, and your feeling is getting stronger. And as you get closer to the south end, there is a room at the end, but the very faint, tenuous grasp you have on this kind of connection, it feels actually like it's coming from lower than the room in front of you.
Huh, okay. So he turns to Daniel and he says, you know what? It might actually be downstairs. What room is he in front of right now?
So you're in the hallway, and you are standing in front of the room that's at the very southmost end.
Is that any of the lads' rooms?
Nope.
Okay.
It is not. The door is not locked. It's open just a little bit. You would have to assume that this is just the room of one of the other guests.
Uh-huh. What is the floor? Have we explored the floor just below that?
So the floor just below this is going to be floor 1, and so that's where the ballroom is. You have unlocked the ballroom, so to speak. You haven't done a tremendous amount of exploring yet on that level.
Isn't that also where Emily's room is?
Emily's room is on the west side.
It's on that floor, though.
It is on that floor, yeah.
Okay, but I don't know what's directly under on the east side, but I do know what is directly under on the other side of the hall of the west side. Okay.
Yes.
Wow, I got that right.
Yeah.
Okay, so he turns to Daniel and he says, I believe my feeling is coming from downstairs. He blinks and then he pauses and then he shakes his head. Either way, I believe that we'll have to creep past Nathaniel again. I don't know how much success Liam and Adrian has had, but if Liam and Adrian is distracting him, then perhaps we can just creep by.
Then I suppose we should go now.
All right.
I heard those fools open the opposite end, the other door of the staircase.
Bless.
Perhaps I thought that would confuse the fellow.
Well.
Cutting to that very scene. Liam and Adrian enter, and you find that Nathaniel is hunched over, painting very quickly over the red letters that you had just unveiled. And he jumps a little bit as you enter. He's painting as well as he can with his left hand still, and is like trying to add as many coats of paint as he can. But as you know, you have to wait for paint to dry and then you can add another layer so that it dries over it. So he's just trying very desperately to cover all of this up.
Is he like putting multiple coats on while it's still wet?
Yes.
Oh, geez.
Nervous fellow.
Does it smell really strongly of paint in here as well now?
Probably.
There's plenty of fresh paint, so it does smell of paint. And
no, like, vents?
No vents in here, no.
As a doctor, I'm going to have to step in.
Oh, yes, Dr. Edwards and Mr. Bardsley. Yes, good evening. He looks at you he's hesitating a lot as he contemplates what he should say next.
What's happened here?
Shut the fuck.
Oh my god.
We were just in here and we didn't see anything like this.
Yes,
and
how
both of us are
strange.
gonna roll d20s.
This isn't gonna work.
He's high. It might. There are no
true.
vents in here.
That's true.
Yeah.
Go ahead and add influence.
Of which I think Adrian has none.
I have one.
Oh, good. Never mind.
I got 13.
Liam got 19. And so with Nathaniel, I'm actually going to roll for him to sort of suss us out. Adrian is at amicable.
Okay.
With amicable, Nathaniel is going to have +2 on a perception/insight type roll against us.
Good.
Or against you in particular. So let me roll for you. Okay. That's going to be 14 +2 +2. So he knows, Adrian, that you're very disingenuine with
Why
this.
didn't I just ignore him? Like I said.
Nathaniel reaches forward and leans in close to you, and he drops the paintbrush, and he
Sir?
grabs your arm, and he speaks in a very hushed tone. He says, "Are you here with Mr. Keene?"
Can I roll some kind of insight to see if he thinks that would be a good or bad thing?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
You also have that +2.
So he knows Mr. Keene is investigating.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or whoever's watching knows and told him.
Yeah, that was my other thought.
Oh.
21 in total.
Yeah, baby, that is a success. He looks scared and hopeful. Hopeful in the sense that that might be a positive thing.
We've been in communication this evening.
Wink at him.
And he winks.
Give me a separate roll. I want to know how he receives the wink.
Am I adding anything?
You can add influence.
Okay. 19.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'm also going to take this opportunity to give Liam one of his witness. Liam is standing nearby, and he elbows you, Adrian, and then he gestures with his eyes. And as you're looking, you can see that he's sort of indicating the brooch on Nathaniel's cravat, and it has cracked.
Oh.
Okay.
Nathaniel nods to himself and sort of unconsciously sort of cups his right hand closer to his chest. And he says, "You should be very, very careful." And he points towards where the wall peeling had been partially uncovered. And he says, "You're not entirely unseen this evening, but you were very lucky," and he taps his brooch, "at this particular instance. But you have to be much, much more careful than that, please, for your own sakes. And don't go out after midnight out of your rooms. Stay in your rooms after midnight. Don't go in the bath after midnight. Stay in the rooms after midnight. I don't want anything to happen to any of you."
Well, what is happening here, might I ask? Are you under duress? Okay.
I can't. There's not much that I know. You all are not the first people here,
Sus lad.
but I don't know. Most of the people who came here earlier, they left unharmed.
Most of
know-
them?
I know some of them stayed on.
As staff?
He nods.
Well, who is doing this? Who has you under their thrall?
He pinches his head and he says, I can't say much more, but the one who owns this manor has his own intentions, and I cannot stop him. I have too much at stake, and the last time I tried, he clenches his hand back over his right hand again. Just be careful and try to figure out what's happening. I can't quite put everything together, but be very careful not to be seen.
Well, that's the plan. We'll do our very best, and we're here to help, I think.
Liam, who's also in this scene, steps forward and says, "Is there anywhere we can talk with you later that won't be observed?" And Nathaniel just shakes his head. He says, "No, I can't even be gone for very long, or else. No, don't worry about myself, but just stay in your rooms after midnight. And if you can find something else, I'm sure you and Mr. Keene will be able to figure things out."
So Zachary and Daniel are also coming down these stairs.
Yep. I think that's the appropriate time for you all to enter through the door.
That's such a shame, because I was hoping that Zachary and Daniel might be out of the way and able to hear some of this.
Oh, well, if you don't want to enter the room.
Or just like part of this conversation, like especially when he's like under duress or anything like that.
Let's have the two of you do wisdom rolls as you are walking down the hallway to tell if you can hear conversation happening in the stairwell.
Okay. I got a 14.
Okay.
14.
A 14. Okay, two 14s. With the two moderate successes, you can hear that there's conversation happening in the stairwell, but you can't actually make it out because Nathaniel is talking at a very, very incredibly low whisper between Liam and Adrian. Like, he is inches from their face, kind of whispering because he is terrified of being overheard.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
With the acoustics of the stairwell, it's a good thing that he does. So you can tell that there's conversation happening. Do you want to enter?
Zachary looks to Daniel with a questioning look and sort of nods towards the stairway, like, should we?
He can tell it's Nathaniel, right?
That's your best bet. That's like, you could hear voices. You knew that Liam and Adrian walked in there. You knew that Nathaniel was still in there painting.
He would assume that they are discussing something, so yeah, he'd want to enter.
Okay.
He'd nod curtly to Zach and then bust open the door.
Bust?
No, not... He just like...
Try to give my boy Nathaniel a heart attack.
No, he puts his hand on it and he opens it like... And then he opens and pushes it open.
Nathaniel just sort of slowly looks over his shoulder at you entering. And Liam says, no, that's all right. They're with us. And Nathaniel's like, oh, really? How surprising. Well, you can tell them what I told you, but I should probably get back to this.
Well, you be careful as well, if you can.
Thank you, Dr. Edwards. And so then Liam gestures to Zach and Daniel that everything is on the up and gestures them to follow down the stairwell.
Oh, wait, before they go, Adrian's going to turn around and be like, you might please be sure to get some fresh air after you're done painting this. There's no ventilation in here at all, and I'm a little concerned about the fumes.
Oh, yes. Yes, no, I'll be moving around the house after this. Don't worry. Dr.
Open a
Edwards.
window.
Your genuine concern, I think, is going to bump you up with Nathaniel.
Cool.
Now you're boyfriends.
Wow. Wow, Nathaniel, why do you get to have 2 boyfriends?
Wow. And actually, I'm also going to bump up Liam and Zach because now Nathaniel is under the impression that we are collaborating with Mr. Keen.
Not me?
You're already allies. You're
allies.
already like BFFs forever.
I want to be boyfriends.
Oh my god.
You are.
You have to
Bump him up to having a crush on me.
I mean, he practically does already.
I'm like, is that not canon?
He does admire you greatly.
Hooray.
So with that, as we depart, Liam, unless Adrian wants to interject, will share with Zach and Daniel what Nathaniel told them. He mentioned Mr. Keen, and he was concerned for our well-being. He told us to stay in our rooms after midnight. He really emphasized that. I mean, he mentioned it at dinner, but he seemed very concerned for our well-being.
Well, you know what that means. We're going to have to not be in our rooms after midnight, and we will probably have to check out the bathhouse after midnight.
Ooh, but we don't know what we're up against.
Well, yes, let's take precautions, of course, but...
I think maybe we should find a way to survey what is going on after midnight, but perhaps not be out in the line of fire after midnight.
Well, I think you're right, but it depends on how long we're allowed to stay here. I think we've only got the room booked for a night, and... well, we'll see. We have other things we need to explore, and we still have our goals that we need to meet.
Yes. Are you on to anything, Zachary?
Yes, there's a faint presence coming from the first floor in the southeastern corridor.
Well, be careful, as always. And Liam gives you a little slap on the arm, and then we all keep walking in the same direction down the stairs.
Right. Good luck, you two.
You as well. So we're going to continue down the stairwell, so that'll take us down to level 1, which is not the ground floor. I think Liam and Adrian were heading towards the kitchen.
Yes.
Okay. Then Zach and Daniel, you continue down the stairs. Do you get off at the first floor to check things out?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So you get off at the first floor. Which door in the stairwell are you going to exit from? Because once again, there is one on the east side of the stairwell and one on the west side of the stairwell.
We're gonna get off on the east.
Okay.
I think he's really bloodhounding it right now.
Mm-hmm. As you continue down that hallway, once again, it's very dark. It's about the same as the previous one. You can see that there are other bedrooms all along the walls here, and you get to the end of the corridor. This is another bedroom. It has not been shut. You can feel the presence more strongly here. It still does not feel quite immediate. Would you like to go in this room to figure out anything else?
Yeah, is the door partly open?
Yes.
Before I do that, can he hear anything coming from within the room?
Roll me a wisdom.
I got you. 19.
Fantastic. You cannot hear anything from this room.
He gently motions for Daniel to follow as he opens the door and enters.
As you sidle into this room, you are entering into a room with a very beautiful dark blue color scheme. A sapphire blue, one might call it. There is one additional door on the north end of the room. There are 5 windows, 2 facing west into the garden terrace, 2 facing the exterior manor on the east, 1 facing the south end of the house, and then all of the windows have dark blue curtains with a silvery brocade. There's a 4-poster bed in here with sapphire curtains and a silvery gray rug with little dark blue floral designs. There is a silver-framed mirror hanging from one of the dark blue painted walls. There's a wardrobe, a desk, a dark wood table that boasts a stuffed peacock. There's a wash basin, a velvety blue upholstered chaise lounge, and a matching stool. There's also 2 medium-sized portraits on the wall that are facing each other.
Isn't Rosamond in the sapphire room?
Daniel, why don't you roll me a wisdom check to see if you remember, because everyone would have looked at the list to see where they would have been rooming. And so, Daniel, you can give me a check. Basically, this is to see if you can remember who it was that is boarding in here.
12.
Moderate success. You can't remember, but I will say that the luggage that is stored in this room there might be some feminine items in the luggage. So maybe a hairbrush that's been brought out, but you don't remember who it was that is staying in this room.
Is it my girl, Dorothea?
Well, you do know that Dorothea went to her room to do some writing.
Oh, okay.
And
so
there's nobody in here.
Okay. This appears to be a guest room.
Okay.
And a woman, I would say. And he points at the luggage and then he says, or a man who, and then he tucks some of his hair behind his ear, cares very much for his appearance.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel.
Zach, I'm going to say that you feel the pull a little bit more strongly, and you feel it still further towards the south of this room. So the only thing over here in this direction is a window.
Okay, where's the mirror in relation to this?
So the mirror is going to be over on the north end of the wall.
Okay. He looks over at Daniel before looking at the mirror and then looks back at Daniel and says, "We should do something about that." Is it a floor to head length mirror, or how big is the mirror?
This is a large silver framed mirror mounted on the wall. You would not be able to cover all of it with just a jacket.
Okay.
Daniel already has moved to the bed and is... These bed curtains, are they kind of like regular curtains where they're on a lining and you can take them off pretty easily?
I'm going to say they're removable because you have to clean everything. So yeah, you can take those down.
All right, he has already moved to the bed and is removing...
Very nice.
One of the curtains from the bed.
Clever.
I presume I don't have to roll for it.
Nope, you can do it.
Takes the curtain off and then he drapes it over the mirror.
Once that's covered, Zachary crosses the room and goes over to...
Peacock? Stuffed peacock?
There's a peacock?
Does it have eyes?
The stuffed peacock does not have gems for eyes.
Okay, sorry.
Good call, though. It's good to be vigilant.
I got so alarmed when you said peacock. My thought was what code word was that? I forget. What's happening?
Code peacock. We got a code peacock.
I was about ready to duck.
No, it's a peacock.
Yeah, he crosses the room and he goes over to where he feels the feeling, which is by the window?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as you get closer to the window, you can look out into the thunderous darkness of the stormy night. And from this level, you can just barely tell that there is a small vegetable garden on the very lowest floor outside. So using your recollection of the exploring you did on the first floor whenever you were trailing after Mr. Keene and Father Underwood, you could say that most likely the kitchens lead out to this garden.
Okay.
And that is where you feel this energy.
Daniel comes over to him. Anything?
He's looking at the vegetable garden and he kind of scrunches up his face and he is trying to direct his attention more to the walls to see if he feels anything from the walls themselves.
No.
Is it coming from the vegetable garden?
That's what it feels like.
He throws open the window, confused, and I know it's raining, but he kind of leans his head out a little. Is it stronger the more he kind of...
Yes, and your head gets very wet. It is pouring buckets out there, but you do feel the feeling stronger.
Daniel, a good friend, grasps Zachary's jacket to hold him, but helps him kind of lean out the window.
Zachary pulls his head back in and mops the curls and the rain out of his face, and he goes, "I think it's coming from outside."
Where?
The vegetable garden.
Oh, I know how to get there.
Hold on. Did you say this was a woman's room?
Yes.
Oh, we need to get out of here now. Now, please. Yes. Starts even pushing Daniel out.
You should probably return the curtains.
I was going to ask if you were going to leave the curtains up on the mirror, or if you were going to put the curtains back up.
I think Daniel would leave it because he doesn't want the woman to be spied on.
Yeah, that is Zachary's intention too, and Zachary's also we should probably go before a woman steps in here and starts screaming.
If she removes it, then that's up to her, but he is going to leave it.
That's very considerate. No, I like that instinct. And so, you all, I assume, are going to go back down the stairway, and now you have options. You can either go in I guess I'm going to call it the echoing stairwell, or you can go down the grand staircase to get to the ground floor.
I think Daniel would start leading Zach towards the kitchen because they want to get to the vegetable garden, and he said, I know how to get there.
But which staircase?
Which one's closer?
The echoing staircase.
Smells like paint in there.
There's no mirrors, though.
It's true. Adrian, who isn't here.
Well, we'll only be there for a short time.
Good point. They go back into the echoey staircase.
Fantastic. You had split off from Adrian and Liam as you went off onto the first floor. Liam and Adrian were actually going to the ground floor all along. So jumping back in time a little bit.
Adrian has a question for Liam.
So polite. You don't see it, but Toast raised her hand.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
Yeah, go ahead. Just do it in character. How does he broach it?
Liam.
Yes. Are you all right, Adrian?
Well, were you really rushing up the stairs to come look for me?
Well, I heard the knocking, and it was so loud. I thought, perhaps you. A house this big, you never know if there's maybe passages somewhere, and
secret
perhaps
passages.
To get out. Oh, I mean, you hear about it all the time in castles and everything, and
That's
so
true.
I was. But I mean, you're well. Obviously, you're fine. I was. Don't mind me. I was just.
Well, it's very gallant of you.
Oh.
But I mean, I suppose you would have done the same if any of us were up there, probably. Zachary or Daniel probably would have chased after them too, probably.
Right, we have to be very careful here. And as a matter of fact, I did see...
Adrian is so disappointed that Liam didn't quibble about that at all.
Liam is blushing so hard. He is very pink in the cheek. But I did see, before we came up to get you, I did see Mr. Keene was talking to one of the staff who was cleaning up after the mess with Molly. And so we might actually run into him.
Well, maybe we ought to, in fact, join forces more concretely with Mr. Keene if he is, in fact, investigating or partying the same way that we are.
You might be onto something. At the very least, we can see if he can provide us with any more clues.
Did you say he was still in the ballroom?
Well, no, he was in the ballroom, but then he followed out the gentleman that was doing the cleaning to continue a conversation with him.
All right, well, let's
So I don't know
go.
exactly where he is. We could still try to go down to the ground floor.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so we are in the echoing staircase. Do you want to use the east exit out of this stairwell or the west? And
Whichever one will lead us to the kitchen more directly.
Okay, so we'll be exiting through the east.
Okay.
That's where we're headed. Oh my god. We gotta stop meeting like this.
You two again?
So we enter into the kitchen first, and we see that Mr. Keene is standing there speaking with two gentlemen. They are hard at work, cleaning off the dishes, wiping down the surfaces and the tables, but they are answering readily enough and placidly as he asks them questions. He seems to be in the middle of a question whenever we come in. He's turned towards one of the gentlemen who has very thin, wispy white hairs and a balding head with lots of sunspots, and he says, "And Mr. Gardner, can you tell me how you came to be working at this place? Was it also a week ago?" And then he sees us. He looks up and he just smiles and he gives us a nod and says, "Did you gentlemen get a little peckish after the dance?"
We're in on it. We know what's up.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It never fails. It never fails.
Adrian is autistic.
Yeah.
This is canon.
Let us absolutely go. Oh my god.
I figured we should just let him know we're on the level.
Oh my god. Mr. Tact.
I know.
That is so incredible. Go ahead, roll me a d20, baby,
Fuck.
and add your influence to that.
I'm not even being ironic a little. That was some action movie one-liner shit. That was the equivalent of "Can it, nerd? We know what's going on."
A 19.
Let's go. That's my boy.
Amazing. So, you'll notice that the two gentlemen, unfazed by this remark, Mr. Keene looks absolutely shocked for, I would say, 2.5 seconds. just completely gobsmacked. And then he pulls himself together, very professional, and he says, I actually appreciate that, Mr. Edwards. Or should I say, Dr. Edwards. I had a feeling that you might be involved some way in what's going on here. I think it would be best for us to continue this conversation elsewhere. Don't you think?
Certainly, as long as there's no mirrors around.
And he looks very intrigued about that, and he says, very good. I will take your word for that. Shall we? My room is just up the stairs 1 level.
Adrian looks at Liam, just be like, is this cool?
Liam nods, and it's like, just still, Liam is honestly still a little shook that Adrian just out with it. He's like, oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, let's go.
Liam flatlined for like 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Liam does stay pretty close to Adrian still as they retrace their steps. And we are going to meet Zach and Daniel as they are leaving. We are going to be heading up the stairs as you all are coming down.
And we're coming down the echoey stairs?
Yep, you're coming down the
and
echoey stairs.
And they're coming down the echoey stairs?
We're going up the echoey stairs. Okay. So we're going to
We see them with Mr. Keen.
You know that drive-by meme? Oh,
yeah.
This is exactly
that. Drive-by meme.
Adrian gives a thumbs up.
Zachary just he's so confused. He's like, what? Okay. And he just...
You notice that Mr. Keen is eyeing you very carefully, but...
Adrian looks over his shoulder and gives a thumbs up to Mr. Keen as well.
Please, oh my god, I love him in this.
Daniel, very confused, like his eyes are wide and his brows are furrowed and his mouth is slightly open, but he gives a very hesitant thumbs up to Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian nods. Thumbs up.
Oh, please.
As they're passing.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Also, I just want to say that, Zachary's initial instinct is to have that open agape look, but then all instinct takes over and he, shifts his eyes to the floor. So he's not... Mm-hmm. I think he catches sight of, a thumbs up, but he's still okay, I'll deal with that later. And just, keeps going.
We continue up the stairs. So we enter a room on the first floor, and it is actually fairly close by. Mr. Keen is in the coral room. As we look around, we can see there's another 4-poster bed here with the coral pink curtains and covers. This is a corner room, so there are 2 windows, one north and one east. The rug is large enough to cover the whole floor, and it's cream-colored with a coral trim. The walls are papered with coral in vertical patterns with ferns and ammonite shells woven into the design. A side table with a lamp, a simple desk with a coral upholstered stool. These are some of the other pieces of furniture around the room. You've also got the coral and cream chair, cream painted wardrobe, a floor-length mirror, 2 potted plants, a table with a wash basin, and several notes strewn across the desk. And so as we enter, Mr. Keen proceeds to take the covers off of his bed and looking towards Adrian one more time for confirmation.
He nods.
He takes the covers from the bed and puts them up over the mirror. And he takes out his notebook and he has a seat and he gestures the 2 of us towards the chaise lounge.
Do we sit together?
Yes.
Oh boy.
So we sit together. Liam is still very tense about this whole situation. But Mr. Keen smiles and says, forgive me about this, but to start off with, why don't you tell me about Mr. Wilkos?
Liked what you heard? Let us know by using hashtag #DandiesInDanger over on our Twitter, Insta, Tumblr, and TikTok in the listed links below. We'd love to hear any and all comments, questions, and theories as to where the story might be headed. Want to support us and our lads' adventures more directly? Then please consider clicking on the link and becoming a patron today. For just $1, you can gain access to our longer, uncensored outtakes and blooper reels. For $5, you can have access to exclusive stickers, in-world letters written by and for the lads, poetry by Adrian and Daniel, and original music from the show composed and scored by Chess Albanese. Can't afford to support directly? No problem. Podcasts survive by word of mouth, so if you like what you heard, tell your friends, family, and local graveyard ghosts all about these exciting tales. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Dandies in Danger is written and voiced by Elijah Bergateras as Zachary Wilkos. Cast as Liam Bardsley, Chess Albanese as Daniel Pritchard, and Toast as Adrian Edwards. It is edited by Toast. Original score and music composed by Chess Albanese. It is produced by Dandies team, and made possible by listeners like you.